There are other, less formal ways to record knowledge, and many companies are doing it in-house. As some of you know, we release a weekly podcast called the Exec Exchange. These are short podcasts in which a leader from the water sector tells a story each week to inform and inspire other water sector leaders. There are, of course, many other water-related podcasts, and for this next segment, I want to highlight the EddyVision Lightning Talks by Panton McLeod. Their podcasts have a particular focus on operational issues. Piers recently spoke to Jim Panton about what they've been doing.
So being a small business, we were always struggling a little bit to get our message out to the industry. And we ended up stumbling into some YouTube videos probably nearly 10 years ago now, just promoting who we are and what we do. We invented our mascot, Eddy McLeod. My father started the business, Panton McLeod, but there was never a McLeod involved. There was a friend briefly who didn't get involved in the business, so McLeod never existed. And people always asked who is the McLeod in Panton McLeod. And eventually we brought our mascot in, who is an elephant called Eddy McLeod, to write an answer for that question. So Eddy McLeod then became a channel for media and marketing called EddyVision. And we started doing some videos, and then we started doing some live events. And in those live events, we did regular kind of presentations, but we also did 10-minute rapid fire lightning talk presentations. And falling out from that, the next iteration now, there's podcasts. We're trying our hand at that. And the EddyVision Lightning Talk podcast is our operationally focused chat with operators in the water industry every 2 weeks.
Excellent. Now, and I love it. I've known you for a long time. I never realized that there wasn't a McLeod, and that the elephant that you've created was merely a fiction. Oh, I feel I've been cheated. Now, so you've just touched on it there. The podcasts are short, sharp, with an operational focus, correct?
Absolutely. So in the industry, if we go to conferences, if we go to events, if you read industry magazines and publications, everything tends to be very strategic. It's all about the regulatory funding cycle. It's all about the kind of 2050 challenges that we all face. And there are some pretty significant challenges. Let's face it, we all recognize that, and those are important. But actually, because we're a small business, we operate right at the pointy end, let's call it, in the operational field. I sometimes feel the biggest challenges are not necessarily at the strategic end, they're at the delivery end. You've got operators running assets that are on their knees. We know there's underfunding. We've talked about that at strategic levels for years and years and years. But the real implication of it is it's a bit like having your car that's breaking down and you don't have the time or maybe the money or the service garage isn't available. And you're limping around in your car that's about to break down, and you're doing everything you can to keep it going without it actually stopping until you can finally get that chance to do the service that it needs. And sometimes we find that the people we're helping operationally are in that kind of a world where the treatment plant is just about on its limits, and they're just doing everything they can to keep it going. And there's some really interesting stories in there. And obviously we work in that field quite a bit. So that's what we're going to try and draw out in some of these discussions.
What I think is so important there is the fact that the focus of these is to capture key operational knowledge. So even with the Aging Workforce Challenge, knowledge is remembered, it's retained, it's still available to others as and when they join the sector. After all, elephants never forget.